After 25 years, a man is reunited with his long-lost sister, who soon moves into his home. At first, everything seems normal, but strange things begin happening in the house. His housemate is killed, and he is suddenly arrested by the police. He begins to suspect that the woman living under his roof may not be his real sister, and he must uncover the truth before he loses his family. Kang Seo-jin is a top architect, but his life shattered 6 months ago when his wife died in a hit-and-run accident. Haunted by the tragedy, he turns to hypnotherapy with his friend, Dr. Han Jong-woo, hoping to uncover the killer. But instead of answers, one memory keeps coming back, his younger sister at an amusement park, the sister who vanished 25 years ago. Struggling with grief, Seo-jin and his daughter, Yi-na, move back into his parents' house. Their old home holds too many memories of his wife. One day when he arrives back from work, Seo-jin is met with nagging from his parents as Yi-na has been looking for him, but he's too consumed with work. He finds Yi-na hiding in a wardrobe. She says the room feels scary. What she doesn't know is that it once belonged to Seo-jin's missing sister. When Yi-na asks about her mom, Seo-jin lies, saying she's in Canada. He just can't bring himself to tell her the truth. Later, Seo-jin gets a call from an orphanage. They believe they've found his sister. At a cafe, a woman named Kang Yoo-jin introduces herself as his sister who went missing years ago. She says her adoptive parents recently passed, and she discovered clues about her past in their things. But something feels off. She's not how Seo-jin remembers her. After so many false hopes, he decides to run a DNA test before informing his family. The next day, his daughter wakes him up. His mother is sobbing. Seo-jin assumes it's another disappointment and tells her he's sorry for raising her hopes. But when he sees the test results, it's real. The woman is a 99.99% match. That night, the family gathers for dinner to welcome Eugene. Seo-jin brings Yi-na along, and his parents are overjoyed to be reunited with their daughter after so many years. Eugene smiles warmly and announces she's quitting her nursing job to move in and start fresh with her real family. But Yi-na doesn't seem too happy. She tells her dad she wants her mom, not a new aunt. Still, Eugene tries her best to win the little girl's heart. The next day, Eugene's former colleague came to say goodbye at the hospital. She tells Eugene that the team will miss her as she was the most reliable and well-liked nurse they had. Her parents beam with pride. Back home, Eugene tells her mom she wants to be a good daughter to make up for all the years they lost. Meanwhile, Seo-jin can't escape his trauma. A flashback shows the day his sister disappeared. He was with her at the amusement park. It's a memory that still haunts him. One day, Seo-jin is stuck at work and can't pick up Yi-na. Before he even calls anyone, Eugene phones him. She's already picked up the girl. When he arrives home, he's stunned to see Eugene gently braiding Yi-na's hair. His daughter, usually shy and guarded, is chatting happily. She even says she wants her aunt to pick her up every day. The next morning, Eugene cooks a hearty breakfast. The housekeeper, Jong-im, praises her for staying up all night taking care of their mom. Even Yi-na, who normally hates bell peppers, starts eating them, because Eugene said they're good for her. Seo-jin finds it strange, but also comforting. Somehow, Eugene is making the whole family feel lighter. He thanks her and admits he's not always good at taking care of his parents. Eugene gently replies that from now on, he doesn't need to worry, she'll handle everything at home. Later, Seo-jin visits Jong-woo and confesses that something about Eugene feels off. She's too perfect, too helpful. Jong-woo laughs it off, saying Seo-jin's just overthinking, and tells him to keep taking his medication. Back home, Seo-jin is shocked to see a strange man giving his mother physical therapy, touching her too closely. But before he can say anything, his mother proudly tries to walk by herself but falls after a few steps. Seo-jin isn't pleased, and later finds out Eugene brought the man over. She says he's a trusted colleague from her old hospital. That night, Seo-jin heads to the kitchen and catches a glimpse of Eugene's back, marked with a strange tattoo. The next morning, uneasy, Seo-jin asks Jong-im to quietly keep an eye on Eugene. He's not ready to trust her. Later, while chatting with Yi-na, she mentions a girl named Ha-yun, a name Seo-jin's never heard. Eugene offers to take Yi-na to ballet, but Seo-jin insists on doing it himself. When Eugene asks who Yi-na wants to go with, the moment turns awkward. But just then, Seo-jin gets a call from the police station. He has no choice but to let Eugene take Yi-na, this time with Jong-im going along. At the police station, Seo-jin is told that they found a new dashcam from the accident, but it needs time to be restored. Meanwhile, Eugene and Jong-im drop Yi-na off at ballet class. As they're about to leave, a mysterious man spots Eugene and shouts her name. She freezes for a moment, then quickly enters the lift and presses the close button. Jong-im notices her panic but brushes it off, at first. But something is definitely wrong. The man chases Eugene to the parking lot and grabs her by the throat. He screams that his family was destroyed because of her. Later, Eugene is sweating and shaken in the elevator. Jong-im, waiting for her, mentions they've been waiting a long time. She also notices scratch marks on Eugene's neck, and starts feeling uneasy. Later, she also saw that the man who confronted Eugene is now dead. Jong-im is disturbed and tries to contact Seo-jin. But before she can make the call, Eugene calmly suggests they go somewhere, and Jong-im disappears. The next morning, Seo-jin is stunned to hear that Jong-im supposedly ran off with a man. There's even a handwritten note. Eugene says she saw it herself. Seo-jin finds it hard to believe, but his parents brush it off and tell him to let it go. Still suspicious, he asks the police, but since it's unrelated to his wife's case, they need to investigate more before disclosing the details. Later, Seo-jin finally watches the recovered dashcam footage from his wife's accident. His blood runs cold. There's a woman at the scene. It's Eugene. Shaken, he rushes to Jong-woo and begs for another hypnotherapy session. Under hypnosis, he sees the killer again, a man with a scar. But this time, Eugene is also there, standing at the scene. It wasn't just coincidence. Back home, Seo-jin meets the new housekeeper, who turns out to be the wife of his mom's new therapist, another person Eugene brought in. Seo-jin, now deeply suspicious, suggests they visit the orphanage to thank them for helping find Eugene, but she brushes it away. When he calls the orphanage, the man mentions that he is overseas. Still, he decides to visit the orphanage himself. On the way, a familiar face catches his eye on a food truck advertisement. It's the nurse who claimed to be Eugene's coworker. He tracks her down at an event, dressed in a monkey costume. When he confronts her, she admits the truth, she's not a nurse. Eugene paid her to lie. Furious, Seo-jin rushes home to confront Eugene, but something feels off the moment he steps inside. The entire house feels strange. His mother's new therapist acts too familiar, the housekeeper is overly close to his father, and everyone seems strangely zombified, like they're under some spell. Seo-jin faces Eugene head-on. He tells her the truth he uncovered. The orphanage she claimed to be from doesn't exist, and the nurse she said was her coworker is a paid actress. He shows the evidence to his parents and declares she's not their real daughter. But Eugene suddenly falls to her knees. Tearfully, she says she only lied about her job, she didn't think they'd accept her if they knew she came from a rough past. Seo-jin demands more answers, but his father snaps, reminding him that the DNA test already proved she's family. Eugene begs Seo-jin to believe her. Seo-jin then drops a bomb. He saw her at the scene of his wife's death. His father explodes in anger, accusing him of being a coward who hides behind pills and false memories. His mother suddenly collapses, blood trickling from her nose. The doctor later explains it was caused by a spike in blood pressure. At the hospital, Eugene gently explains herself again, but Seo-jin tells her to take care of their mother and leaves. Secretly, he takes a strand of her hair to run another DNA test. At the hospital, Eugene makes a cryptic phone call, "Just do as I say." Moments later, Seo-jin's mother wakes up and tells Eugene that she enjoys hearing Eugene talk to her. Eugene leans close and whispers something into her ear. Back home, Seo-jin watches over Yina, who seems weaker than usual. Seo-jin notices the new housekeeper lurking outside his room as he tucks Yina into bed. Yina says she misses Eugene and that she tucks her in every night, something Seo-jin didn't know. The next day, he visits Yina's school and asks about her mysterious friend Ha-yeon, that Yina often talks about, but the teacher says there's no such student. At the police station, Seo-jin hears about a murder at the ballet school on the same day Jong-im went missing. The victim, Sang-moon, works at a storage room near the mall, but Seo-jin doesn't recognize him. Reviewing CCTV footage, Seo-jin admits to the officer about his growing suspicions of Eugene. The officer goes to the house to question Eugene. When he questions her about the people working at their house, Eugene plays the perfect daughter. She sweetly says their mother needs help at home, so they had to replace Jong-im quickly. And that she did not want the family photo to be retaken as it was the last photo taken with Seo-jin's wife. Then, she calmly paints Seo-jin as unstable, mentioning his therapy and hinting he might be imagining things. She even claims their father also saw the housekeeper run off with a man. Seo-jin urges the officer to dig deeper, but Eugene's performance is convincing. Now, the police are starting to question if Seo-jin might be the one hiding something. At home, things get really strange. Seo-jin's parents are sitting in bed like lifeless zombies, with blood dripping from their noses. Eugene calmly tells them to transfer all their money and property to Yina. That way, she says, there won't be any fighting over inheritance between her and her brother in the future. Seo-jin starts looking for Yina. When he finds her, she's sitting by the window, her eyes burning with anger. She turns to him and asks, "Why did you lie about Mom?" Then she screams at him, calling him a bad person and saying something no father ever wants to hear, "I wish you were dead instead." That's when it hits Seo-jin. Eugene has been manipulating his daughter. Furious, Eugene storms into the kitchen and slaps Eugene across the face, demanding to know who she really is. But instead of support, his mother defends Eugene. She says maybe it's Eugene who didn't want Eugene back, just to have the entire family fortune for himself. Still in shock, Eugene grabs Ina's hand to take her away. But she bites him. Out of reflex, he pushes her, and she runs to Eugene, crying. Later, Eugene tries to confront Eugene again. He asks what her real motive is. But Eugene just mocks him, asking if he has a crush on her and enjoys spying on her when she changes clothes. Eugene snaps, calling her insane, and starts choking her in rage. Eugene can't sleep. Every time he closes his eyes, he sees Eugene, and creepy visions of a cult. He stumbles into the kitchen to grab a knife, but just then, the housekeeper appears telling him that he should go to sleep. Suddenly, Eugene feels dizzy, like he's losing control of his body. The housekeeper turns around, revealing the same tattoo Eugene has on her back. Worried for Ina's safety, he sends her to Jong-won and begs him not to let anyone take her. But Jong-won brushes it off, saying Eugene sounds paranoid and reminds him to take his meds. But Eugene's condition worsens. He starts hallucinating and even gets nosebleeds. Still determined to find the truth, he visits Sang-moon's office and spots a missing child poster. The name? Ha-yeon. Could this be the girl Ina mentioned? Then, out of nowhere, a call comes in from a real estate agent as he has clients who want to view Eugene apartment, but Eugene says he's not available. The agent replies, "That's strange, your house lights are on." Alarmed, Eugene rushes home. And that's when he finds Jong-im, dead in his bathtub. Before he can react, someone knocks him out and ties him to a chair. A strange man appears. Eugene recognizes him. It's the same man who killed his wife in the hit and run. The man, now smug, reveals the horrifying truth. Eugene has been drugging them with a mysterious substance hidden in their food and drinks. The drug causes nosebleeds, hallucinations, and makes people blindly believe whatever they're told. Eugene demands to know why. The man explains they're looking for a pure child to serve as their cult's divine leader. Ha-yeon was meant to be that child, but she stabbed herself while escaping. Now she's impure, so they need a new one. Then comes another shocking flashback. Eugene was the one who killed Sang-moon in the parking lot. As the man tries to kill Eugene, a vicious fight breaks out. Eugene manages to grab a flower pot and smashes it on the man's head, knocking him out cold. He calls the police and tells them everything, but they don't believe a word he says. At home, the nightmare continues. Everyone is present, including the police, and Eugene tries to explain everything. But then, the police shows him a video, footage of Eugene strangling Eugene and pushing Ina. She had already called the police on him. To make things worse, Eugene learns it was Jong-won who told Eugene to install secret cameras in the house. Jong-won also tells the cops that Eugene is mentally unstable and violent. Desperate, Eugene tries to explain himself once more. But everybody shuns him and he is arrested. In the final twist, it's revealed that Jong-won is part of the cult too. Before Eugene is taken away, he asks for one last thing, to talk to Eugene. He warns her not to touch Ina ever. "If it's money you want, I'll give you everything," he says. But Eugene just laughs bitterly as she has already made plans regarding the family's fortune and it will belong to her once Eugene is out of the picture. Then the truth unravels. Eugene reveals that Eugene's wife had been battling postnatal depression. Eugene approached her and offered her to join a group so that she would feel better. At first, she started attending the cult sessions. But then came the horrifying demand. They wanted her to give up her child. She refused. But they didn't stop. They stalked her, pressured her. On the day of the accident, she was going to tell Eugene everything. But before she could, she was hit by that car. It was never an accident. It was all part of their plan. On the ride to the station, Eugene pleads with the police one more time. He begs them to check his old house for clues. But the officer says it's already been checked, there's nothing there. No signs of a struggle. No proof. Eugene loses it, yelling, and suddenly, the car crashes into a divider. Seizing the chance, Eugene escapes. He runs down the road and flags down a passing car for help. But just as he gets in, he realizes too late, the people inside are cult members. They try to strangle him. A violent struggle breaks out. Eugene manages to shove the driver out but the car crashes and he passes out. In the darkness, he sees his wife and she tells him, "Save our daughter before it's too late." He jolts awake and drives straight to the church. There, he sees Eugene leading Ina away. He chases after them and finally catches up, pulling Ina into his arms. "Let us go," he begs. "If you walk away now, I won't report you." But Eugene shakes her head. Her eyes are wild. "I was chosen since I was a baby. And now I need to find the next one." She lunges at him with a knife, but Seo Jin overpowers her and pins her to the ground. Then she blurts out something shocking. "The balloon you bought for me at the theme park 25 years ago, it was blue." Seo Jin freezes, struggling to remember the color of the balloon. As Eugene is about to attack Seo Jin with the knife, Yina cries out, "Daddy." Eugene panics when she sees Yina near the cliff. She cannot lose her chosen child. Seo Jin snaps out of it and runs, pulling Yina away before she falls. But Eugene doesn't stop. She tries to push Seo Jin off the cliff. Instead, she slips. Now she's hanging on for dear life, clinging to his hand. Then, a memory hits Seo Jin. "It was yellow," he says. "The balloon. It wasn't blue." Eugene tries to convince Seo Jin that she is his sister. But Seo Jin makes his choice. He lets go. Eugene falls, and Seo Jin turns to hold his sobbing daughter close. In the aftermath, the truth about the cult is exposed. Yina starts therapy and slowly returns to her cheerful self. Life for Seo Jin and his family begins to feel normal again. They move out of the house filled with too many dark memories. One day, a sealed envelope arrives, genetic test results. Seo Jin stares at it for a moment, then feeds it into the shredder without opening it. Maybe some truths are better left unknown. And whether Eugene was truly his sister remains a mystery.